Welcome to the Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing Podcast. We are your host, Corey Miracle, and her twin sister, better half, an identical twin to most, fraternal to the doctors who birthed us.
You said it was the better half?
Yeah, most of the time. Most of the time. Heather, we just came back from the beach. And
this
Heather,
is actually recorded live, but next week's is pre-recorded yet again.
We just came back from the beach. I couldn't have asked for better weather. The one thing for me to enjoy any trip is to not drive at all. I don't want to know the calendar. I don't want to book the reservations. I don't want to drive.
You could have done that TikTok like, I'm Heather and I made the reservations. I'm Corey. I'm Heather and I booked them.
So Heather drove us in her very nice quad. I sat in the back. Summer sat in the front to help Heather drive, keep her alert, focused. But we had an absolute treat of a time.
A little tip for people. Mm-hmm. If you're going on a trip,
sure,
and there's more than you, and you have a Spotify, you can create a shared Spotify playlist and everyone can add music to it. So every year we create a beach playlist, and it's required that all participants add to the
There was a lot of Katy Perry on there for some odd reason. A lot of Justin Bieber.
Summer.
Yeah. And one oddly November thankful song by Josh Gordon.
But I say it's a blast.
It was supposed to be rainy, and I said at the end of the day, the beach weather is like walking to TJ Maxx. You can't want it.
Are you a Maxxinista?
I'm a Maxxinista. So if you go into TJ Maxx looking for anything, you won't find it. If you go to the beach wanting good weather, it won't happen.
Right. So we finally agreed to stop checking the weather as it was deteriorating rapidly.
Yeah, but we couldn't have asked for a better beach weather.
It's kind of the beach weather where it just gets better and better or terrible. You just don't know.
Yeah. And the day we left,
terrible.
We woke up terrible. And we said that was the best thing ever.
If it was beautiful, you would have been remorseful eating. But this sounds like, ew, gross, go like everybody else.
I need to be back at home. Yeah. But it was great. We enjoyed it. It was recharging, definitely what we needed.
If you ever want to go to Virginia Beach, I'm not going to say it's the best beach. No. It is a very close beach. My mom thought it was, and then funny enough, I'm sitting there at the downstairs restaurant that's outside on the beach, and I look over and there's my parents who had surprised us.
I know. So then we got to bill everything to their room. It was a delight.
It was a luxury I shouldn't have
Please
tasted.
that to 416. Thank you so much.
I had said, okay, I'm going to go get a drink and I'm going to pay for it to my room.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, can I grab this? Can you just bill it to... We didn't stay in the same hotel. It's like this campus, and we were in the cheaper hotel. And he was like, we don't build at that hotel. And I was like, well, you build it to my mommy and my daddy, please.
If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. We're actually a spinoff from a group that's on Facebook. There's about 49,000 bakers in there. People are coming and going. People are starting their journey. People have been in their journey for 15 years. So
it's the mix of experiences that make it
It's great because if you're starting out, you can ask all the questions and get the answers from the pros. It's probably the nicest group on Facebook as far as other bakers trying to help you without sabotaging you. You won't find a nicer group. So if you haven't already, go and search Sugar Cookie Marketing Group. We'll get you in. I promise.
Yeah, we've been much better about it.
Much better.
Munch. Speaking of, Munch has his best friend is here, another cat named Uno. Uno is a normal size cat. Munch is a munchkin cat. And to watch them hang out is hilarious.
They've been good for each other. Better for us because he's less annoying to us. He's very annoying in general.
Honestly, looking at him, it's like a dork. No offense to my own cat, but he's like a dork trying to impress a cool kid, the normal size cat. Yeah. And then they're just like, he's like, where do you want to go? Like, he's breaking all the rules. Munch never goes upstairs, but then I suddenly look and there's both.
You got to be cool, man. You got to be cool. Peer pressure for sure. So the topic of today's podcast is what is a cookie collab? We've done collabs over the years. Me and Heather actually just went down memory lane. We've been doing group collabs since 2020.
2021. We started the group in 2020 and 2021. Yeah. Everyone requested these collabs. If you don't know what we're talking about, you've come to the right place.
Yes.
So we want to take a stab at a collab. If you wanted to, we're having a collab. It's next week on Friday the 27th. I'll talk about that more. But we wanted to get into the meat and potatoes of collab marketing, how it works, why you should do it.
Yeah, because if you just hear the word collab and you have to make a cookie, post on a random day, you're going to be like, that's a waste of time.
It is kind of a weird vibe if you don't know what it means.
Yeah.
But I wrote a list yesterday of 10 reasons why you should consider, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But let's walk down memory lane together.
Let's walk down memory lane.
So Corey and I try to think of all the collabs we've done in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Groups.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about what they are. Right? It's free to join, so... Susan Reed, my favorite.
Susan Reed was the first and foremost spammer that ever happened. Now she's been spoofed. There's only one original. The rest are copycats. Susan Reed was
the original baker scam.
So what we did was we created a Susan Reed collab to get the information out to bakers about who Susan Reed was so no bakers would get scammed. We gave her a dose of her own medicine. We all made blue hearts with a white border.
That's how the scam works. Susan Reed obviously isn't a real person, but is a spam script that say, I'm Susan Reed, I'm an event planner. I have this amazing party. It's 2 inches from your house. I need just 7 dozen blue hearts with white outlines. Because it was such a simple order and it had such a high pay rate, so many bakers would be like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Did Susan Reed pay? Absolutely. She actually overpaid, and that's wherein the scam lies, which is a genius thing. The fact that the $1,000 wasn't the scam, it was the $200.
Yes.
So what would happen is Susan Reed, this proverbial scammer, would pay you $1,200. You thought you were only allocated $1,000. They said, could you just return the $200? It was an overpayment. You return the $200, but the whole check ends up bouncing. It was an e-check. It bounces for all $1,200, and your bank forces you to
pay the $200.
Genius. But also, a lot of bakers had baked already the hearts.
They had. So what we said was, let's make her famous. Let's make Susan Reed as famous as she wants to be. So we all baked.
It was a couple hundred bakers all posting in the same minute, blue hearts with white outlines. And it got other bakers to say, like, what's going on? Why is my whole page?
I have to give myself a pat on the back. What I did was I did do the blue hearts with white outline, but I also baked a fake check.
Which was great because it was a message to other bakers. And it was interesting. It wasn't so much one design for the audience like this one is. This one was designed for other bakers. We did a Meet the Baker, which is actually the theme of this collab.
Yeah.
We're doing it again. Main Street Cookie Collab. That's one we'll be hitting next month.
Yeah.
That was a great one. Really like that one. That was the idea of someone in the group, and it just was a genius idea. Cookie your logo.
We did turn everyone, people had complicated logos, I'm sorry. That's what Eddie's for. But we all cookified our logos and shared them at the same time. It was great.
Thought it was a good demonstration of skill set.
Yeah.
Okay. And Corpy girl era.
Uh-huh.
First cookie, last cookie. This is an interesting one to demonstrate where you started and where you came. So you found your first cookie and then you remade it with the skill set that you've since learned. And it was a good demonstration to your audience. That one's more focused on the audience. But it was fun as bakers to see where people started. Christmas in July, that was kind of a work ahead collab. We did it in July with the Christmas bakes you'd be using in Christmas when we're too busy.
So you had to choose which one you would want to sell in December, but we were honestly giving yourself more time. So if you baked whatever you wanted to sell in December in July, you were just going to rake in the money come December because you had already done the work.
Mm-hmm. Then we did pumpkin patch. A ton of work on my end. Everyone had to make a pumpkin on a white background. A lot of you guys use Canva, I know. But we took all those pumpkins, of which there was hundreds of pumpkins.
There was way more.
And made a cookie pumpkin patch.
There were so many pumpkins in that photo.
It was hilarious because it was fun saying. A lot of bakers took it and said, "Can you guess which pumpkin is mine?" Sugar My State. That was where you created cookies that had semblance with your state. Mm-hmm. Did you do that one?
I did Virginia, and I put sunflowers on it.
Sunflowers.
I don't even think Virginia is tied to sunflowers.
I know.
But I liked it.
I think we're the dogwood tree flower, but. And then we did the meaning of Christmas where you baked and donated cookies to someone that made a difference in your life and told us about that person.
Yeah, and we took pictures of the gentleman. It was the guy who ran Seasons 52 at the time.
Made a huge difference in my life. Okay, so starting with number one, what is a collab? So it is a single day, a single hour in which a bunch of bakers get together to design a cookie based off of a specific theme and post it to a specific social media profile. And the keyword here is using a specific hashtag. Mm-hmm. Do you want to add anything to that?
A lot of specifics there.
It's got to be very specific. It cannot be like an androgynous post whenever. It has to be very aligned.
You may be wondering what platform. The platform is Instagram. It's just made for hashtags and hashtag searching. The whole thing has changed over the years from how easy it used to be to a little bit more difficult now, but we've been able to navigate it. But it mainly takes place on Instagram because you can search hashtags on Instagram. What's your point number two?
Oh, my point number two says, okay, why we stopped doing them? Specifically this. Instagram is in an ever-changing platform.
It is.
It's actually trying to replicate TikTok, which has been stealing Instagram users for years now. It's funny, Corey and I keep tabs on all our social media numbers every Monday. And Corey, I'm like, oh, it looks like TikTok's growing just nicely. And Instagram gained 2 users in the last 7 days. And Corey's like, it is crazy how much better performance and long-term content reach. TikTok has and Instagram.
Yeah.
I want to be like Instagram. If you could just let us have a little bit of a hit.
On TikTok, there's people who have liked a post, specifically this one where I'm using this $10 projector. It's the cheapest projector. That's why people are searching it. It gets liked every single day. I posted it years ago at this point.
Yeah, because I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason why Instagram doesn't want to let you reach anybody after hour 2 of your post. But TikTok, I'll see a TikTok and I'll expand the comments and it will have been posted months ago.
Insane.
And I enjoyed it just as much as then. Okay. So we stopped doing them because Instagram really, really depreciated how the hashtags were working. And that is how collabs work, off of these hashtags. So we'd always use SCM Cookie Collab, hashtag SCM Cookie Collab. The reason why we did, everyone would put that hashtag on there. And for the 1 hour that you're supposed to post, people could click on that hashtag and then they can go engage.
They could actually search the most recent. So it was easier to find anything that was posted recently under that hashtag, which would be the newest
You could
collab.
even follow the hashtag.
Yeah.
And you could engage with it as you saw in your feed. So they've gotten rid of following hashtags and they've gotten rid of recents. And now, because there's no way to filter by recents, a collab participant from years ago would show up now, and that's not what you need to engage with.
That's not what we need.
We need, so the solution and time, we need a little bit more time, is to use a specific hashtag per collab. And once that collab is over, the hashtag is no longer used.
Yes.
Which what you're going to think, what hashtag do I have to use for this one? I'm going to tell you because you're in the right headspace for this.
You are.
Okay, so that's why we stopped doing them, and they're back. This is our trial run.
Our trial, just to see. If it crashes and burns, at least we know.
But if it doesn't, we're going to try to do 2 more this year.
Yeah.
Maybe even this summer before the busy season comes back up. Okay, details on this collab. Friday. It's Friday, next Friday, June 27th, 2025 at 10 a.m. This will get you Eastern Standard Time, which means for you it may not be 10 a.m. if you are on Pacific Time, right? So 10. That would be 12. That would be 8.
Don't even.
I forgot to go back or forward. I think they go backwards. It would be 8. Sometimes I forget if there's 2 in the middle.
I'm sure.
Anyways, your time zone, your problem, your math problem. But it is Friday at 10 a.m. Now, the reason why it's so specific on the time is because for only 1 hour, we're asking people to engage with the content. And I'm going to talk about why that engagement is truly what we're going for here. There's the benefit of content generation, but that engagement, when I'm going to read through this 10 list, is the bang for the buck, and that engagement is from 10 to 11.
Yeah.
After 11, it's just a massive fall off.
But we still ask people to engage throughout the day. But if you really want to get the most juice out of the collab, you're going to follow this to a T. It's going to be next Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And the hashtag, drum roll please.
You have to have the hashtag on this for this to work.
Okay, it is SCM Collab Baker. Now, the way we're going to move forward is SCM Collab, and then that noun at the end is going to change. So for each collab moving forward, this one is only for this collab on Friday, then it's a dead hashtag for us.
The reason why we're doing this is because you can still search a hashtag. Now, everything under this specific hashtag has to do with this specific collab. So it'll be easier to find out who's posting, who's not posted, what you've engaged with, what you haven't engaged with. How I go about it is I'll search the hashtag. If I've liked it already, I know that I did the engagement already.
Yeah, so Corey and I actually share the same account, and she'll double tap when she's engaged with it, and then I'll do it, and it's our twin signal to each other. Been here, done that.
Yeah.
So again, just to recap, June 27th, it's a Meet the Baker collab. Now let's talk about what that means specifically.
Okay. So Meet the Baker, like, oh, what does it mean? I don't know. If you get your little apron on, stand in front of your favorite mixer that you know, love, and has done you good all these years, and snap a photo of yourself. It does not have to be a professional photo. What performs best on social media is faces. It's been studied. If you post a picture of a cookie set that you took 52 hours to make, or a picture of yourself in an apron with crazy hair, the picture with you and your crazy hair is going to perform far better than any set you've ever done. So if we are looking at trying to grow our social medias, get more reach, end up in the feeds of those that already follow us, that maybe we've fallen out of the feeds of.
Which is ideally people who would buy from us.
Yeah, you'll not find a better stack as far as, manufactured engagement through the collab, a face photo.
Now, the big asterisk here is nobody's following you. This isn't a way to grow your Instagram account. It's a way to increase your reach. I'm going to talk about that right now while we go through my list of 10 reasons to sign up for the Cookie Collab on June 27th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Corey and I this week will help you with some copy ideas. So, okay. 1, people like faces. Exactly what Corey said. Marketing 101, when in doubt, selfie it out.
Yes.
Your audience will always respond well to photos of you.
Oftentimes you find us and every baker is posting set after set because at the end of the day, we do sell cookies. So you're going to post the thing that you want to sell the most. Your audience buys from those they know, like, and trust. So your face just being where they can relate to you. If they see you out and about, oh, I know Jessica, she's so sweet. I see her at the farmer's market all the time. Is going to be a great way for you to grow that trust with your audience.
Question, what if you have a punchable face? Corey and I have this thing where we're like, does my face look punchable today? Like, not that anyway. You know, you're like, oh, I just don't like that person. I wouldn't trust them at all. So again, when you post a pic of yourself, your audience just shows up in the comments. Now you're going to get the bakers to show up as well, but so will your audience. Yes. I had somebody say, and they said, I hate it that you guys said to do this. I hated it and I did it and I hated that it performed so well. Yeah. And I've done it 3 more times since and I've hated that it's also done well.
You know, we're doing this collab. This will be the only Meet the Baker collab we do this year, but me and Heather actually suggest that you do a Meet the Baker once a quarter. Give a face to the name. Put your face out there. That's what your audience wants to see. That's who they're supporting. Their dollars don't necessarily go to a cupcake liner. They go to you, to your family, to your family's extracurriculars, putting food on the table. So you showing either you, your family, you know, the people behind the business is going to be the best bang for the buck.
If you don't believe us, open any magazine. I want you to start counting the faces. Yeah. When you go to Wegmans, I want you to count the faces. I want you to see the faces in the ads because people like faces, even if they're not buying the thing, will look at the thing because there's a face in it. Next one, content buckets. Exactly what Corey said. So an About You content bucket is a solid way to become relatable to your audience outside of I Bake This.
Yeah. If you found that your content has grown stagnant, that the likes have consistently decreased because it's one cookie after the next cookie after the next cookie. Maybe you throw in a meme here and there, but you find that your engagement on your page and on your profiles is going down.
Well, I actually took a poll and 86% of bakers who voted said my content reach has decreased.
And I agree.
Okay, so we're all fighting the battle.
Yeah. So if you want to kind of reset your algorithm, end up in a little bit more feed so you can maybe get that audience back into your feeds and really cultivate with a content bucket, that is what Meet the Baker is. And then from there, you really need to grow your content buckets. It can't just be, all right,
this wouldn't be my only time I'm hitting this bucket. This would be a part of that bucket. And you're going to see it does well. And so you're going to want to build out that bucket.
You're right.
A free engagement. So at the time of writing, we had 59 bakers registered. How many think you had? How many? I did 72. Add a registration for this one. And the reason why is because I want to remind people about it.
Yeah.
I want to send out an email.
That's the biggest thing. People are like, oh, I forgot. So now if you want to, Heather's included a link to register and you'll just get an email to remind you the night before, I believe.
Yeah, I'll schedule it out. It's going to have a link to this podcast so you can listen to it. It's going to have some copy Corey's going to write for us. So you could use that as a template if you wanted. And then it's going to remind you to do it.
Yeah.
But free engagement. So I just checked. 75 bakers have signed up. That means we have potential to get 75 comments. 75 genuine comments.
That going otherwise, from 0 to even 3 would be mind-blowing.
A lot of people, especially new bakers who are like, this is my first year in, this will be the most popular post you make for the fact that you have now free engagement you didn't have to pay for. It's going to be quality engagement. That's why I have this email list so we can coach people through the comments that they leave. And to get that organically, your content strategy would have to be.
If you're wondering, I've been doing this for years and years now. My comments are dwindly at best. Granted, I get most of my comments on Facebook because I've invested my time there. It'll be nice to kind of reset my Instagram algorithm and kind of get back in the feeds there.
Juice. Connecting with bakers, my 4th point. I think beyond the marketing aspect of it, this is just a fun way to discover like-minded bakers. Yeah. Okay, I'll say this. Corey and I go to the occasional cookie event in person, and people will be like, hey, it's me. And I'm like, who? And I realized, like, wow, we've had these long-term, years worth of relationship together, and you've been a circle I can hardly see because I don't wear glasses. Right. On the internet. And now you're a person.
Yeah. The great thing about Meet the Baker is their caption is going to reveal a little bit more about them. You can find their interest, if they're a growing family, if it's a dog mom, if this is their full-time job or the side business and what they do for a full-time job. You can create long life friends through it.
Now, you may have, here's my asterisk, you may have the inclination, wow, I really like this baker, I want to follow them. I'm going to ask you to actually ask them if they want to let you follow them. What we don't want is this to be a follow train. The reason why is I don't want to bog down the participants' following count, but I want more followers, right? We want more followers from people who actually buy from us. Bakers are not going to buy from you. Corey has this issue. I always ask Corey, like, hey, I'm referencing your Facebook page. Do you want me to link to it? And Corey be like, no, because I'm still a baker that sells locally, and a lot of bakers following me doesn't help my algorithmic reach.
Yeah. You might think it's easy to get a baker to follow you. They know the struggles of social media, so they'll follow you because they know it. They will. But here's the thing. The long-term thing is they're going to not always engage with you because they're busy trying to grow their social media with their local followers. So if you have your account and you've grown it with local followers, we want to keep that.
That's a valuable. I'd rather 400 locals than 4,000 and 0 locals, right? So it is quality over quantity. So the rule for this collab is do not follow anybody. If you're like, but I want to, then send them a message. Hey, I'm from the collab. I really resonated with your post. I was wondering if it'd be okay.
Yeah, do you mind if I follow you? And they can say yes, no. You'll probably get many yeses.
Could you imagine the no? I'd be like, bye. I'm going to go cry over there. But yeah, what we don't want is to, Corey and I, guys, you jump in your follow trains. You do you, Boo Bear. You won't find us running follow trains. You actually see us deleting it out of the, but if you want to be a follow train girly, there's many groups that let you do that. Just not the strategy I would follow if I need to reach locals.
Yeah.
A lot of times we get the texting questions and it's like, hey, I have a lot of bakers following me. Should I ban them? Okay, 0.5. It's easy. This will be the easiest collab we do.
It'll be the easy one. You don't have to put anything in the oven. You ain't got to mix any icing.
You don't. You just got to put some makeup on a pig. Was it paint on a pig? How's that one?
How do you tell to yourself every morning when you get in? Look at this pig. Got to put some paint on her.
It's like, girl. Here's what I think about when I put on makeup. All makeup does is make a flat canvas again, and then you put the colors where you want them.
Yeah, mine
so that red in my forehead is now
red all over, and then I just put the red now on my cheek.
And then on my lips. Yeah. And then I think it's funny, like my eyes, I'm coloring a crayon in the crevices.
Yes.
But it does make your eyes pop. What can we say?
You don't have to put on makeup, but we will say that because of the amount of engagement you will get on this post, your post will now fall into more feeds of people who actually currently follow you. So if you want to end up back in the feeds of those local audiences, hey, take a photo, edit it in Lightroom, get yourself a little color going.
Yeah, but it's just posting a selfie or getting someone. Corey's taking a photo that we took a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I'll send those to you. I forgot about them. It's easy as pie. So this is not a complex cookie design this round. However, those will come. If you're like, I don't know if I have a lot of time for all the collabs, this would be the one I would dip my toe into. I think you'll find that like, shoot, that was good. And I'll do the other ones.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be super complicated, the other ones, but they do require busting out a piping bag. So this is the one you bust out an eyeliner. You tell me your rattles. Okay, number 6. It's organized. Because I'm doing a registration process, you don't absolutely have to register. It just helps me get a good count, and I'll send you tips. I'm not doing anything else with your email addresses. I will sign you up for every newsletter. No, I'm not even signing you up for our own newsletter. I'm just using this to keep it organized. But because it's organized, it will do well.
Yeah.
Right? Because the organization of a collab dictates, and since they're a little bit larger, most collabs are private. That's a good point.
A lot of times, collabs have been around for years upon years.
Yeah, please understand, this is not some unique twin idea.
No, it isn't. If you've been a part of them, sometimes you'll see them and it'll be like these elite bakers, and it was invite only. This one, you're invited.
It's invite only to everybody. So we're using the registration process. We'll be emailing reminders, helping with copy, kind of coaching people. I think it does a little bit better when there's a little bit more TLC there.
Yeah, a little structure.
A little something. Number 7, it's free. I'm saying this because I've seen some collabs where you have to purchase the product from a seller to be involved in the collab.
Yeah.
This one is free. There's no, you must buy from Heather and Corey to participate, although that would be cool if you did.
There's no specific cookie cutter. There's no specific shirt you have to wear. There's no apron you got to have.
Right. So there's very few marketing tactics in life that you'll find cost you $0. This happens to be one of them. A little bit of time, and I know time is money, but just, people are actually getting their hair cut for this.
No way.
Yeah, I saw a couple. I think
nice.
Kia's like, I'll actually shower. And Amy's like, she got a haircut. And I think Daphne was like, I got a haircut
that's so funny.
Too. I'm getting a haircut too.
Yeah, but you're not going to post your little selfie at bar.
I don't post myself. It's fun-ish. We're not at an amusement park.
Here's the thing. It is fun to learn about people. I love to read an about section of someone I don't know, but I've followed. Like when they do like, hey guys, it's been a minute since I've introduced myself. I will stop and read those all the time.
I do like reading. I like to know somebody's backstory.
Yeah.
So I said, who knew you could bill scrolling on your phone to the company time? But in this way, what we're asking is to engage for an hour if you can.
Yeah.
At minimum, you have to engage to some capacity. But if you could do for an hour, use that hashtag, click on it, you're going to just be able to go through, comment. It's a fun way to learn about your essentially coworkers.
Yeah. You'll find that you can give a little to the person who's engaged with you. If they're commenting on that post and you're like, I truly haven't seen that name before, the odds are they're coming from the collab. So if they leave a comment on yours, you can go straight to their account by clicking on their comment.
That's a great point, is that you won't, I'm not going to publish the list of these emails of people who registered. You'll just know if they're commenting, they've also done it. You can, and like Corey said, you can go to their comment and engage back. Great way to do it. Or go to the hashtag and just go through the list, which is how Corey and I are doing it. Here's another one. I thought this was a good idea. A lot of times people say, I'm looking for photo shoot ideas. This is a great way to see photo shoot ideas.
Sure.
So basically, you would hire a photographer and you do an in-house photo shoot to generate content. That's a lot of what these Meet the Baker posts will be featuring. They've scheduled a professional photo shoot. Yes, you can still use a selfie.
Yeah.
But if you're like, wow, I would like some branding photos or some brandable photos, this is how you're going to be able to see, oh, shoot, I really like that one. Save it. You're allowed to save them. Save them in my photo shoot ideas.
Yeah.
So bakers are always asking for inspo pics. This is how you're going to be able to.
Nice.
Yes.
Love it.
And my 10th, it's just good marketing. This group is focused on two things, business and marketing. And this collab taps on both. You'll be getting in front of your audience by working in tandem with other bakers to increase your profile reach. Getting in front of your audience means more engagement. Have you guys ever engaged with something that's fallen out of your feed and then you did something with it?
Yeah.
And then it's back in your feed?
Yeah.
That is what this is.
Can I do 11th tip that I'm going to do?
Please, you go, girl.
On Instagram, you can actually pin 3 posts to the top of your profile.
Good
what
one.
I'll do is you'll see me have the copy that says, and thank you Sugar Cookie Marketing for putting on this collab. I'm using the hashtag SCM Collab Baker. Is that correct?
Hashtag SCM Collab Baker. Yeah.
Collab Baker. If you want to check out other bakers participating, you can click that hashtag and you can find them. After a few days after this collab ends, I'm going to edit the copy, remove that section, pin it to the top of my profile. So what it does is it looks, someone who's doing the research about me before they book with me, they're going to be able to, one, learn about me. That post is going to have a lot of interactions. The comments are going to be all responded to because that's what we do here.
Right there, money move right there.
Yeah, and then the copy is going to be edited to talk to my ideal audience. So I'm going to take out that, oh, look at my other bakers here. And it's now going to just be focused on the audience that I'm trying to warrant.
I love that because in the copy template Corey's going to offer you, if you see I've assigned this to you publicly, it's going to say, hey, I'm a part of this collab.
Yes.
And it's going to give your audience just a little hint of what it is. We don't need to tell the audience an hour-long podcast about it. We're just going to say, hey, we're in this collab and we're engaging with other bakers if you want to check out whatever you want to do. She's going to help you with that. But going back and taking that out would make a lot of sense.
Yes.
Especially if you're going to have it evergreen on your profile because it would be weirded out to be like this collab from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What?
So what we're going to do is just pin that to the top of the profile and then your photo, the one that performs best, your face, the no like and trust is going to be up there at the top. You're going to look great. It's going to have a lot of comments, a lot of engagement on there. So it'll be something that you want to show to your ideal audience.
Love it. Okay. Last tip, last point in the podcast is how to get the most out of this collab. And all collabs, this is the same copy script I just post everywhere. So tips to succeed. 1, try to have your post up by 10 a.m. Eastern for maximum exposure. What I see happen is sometimes people are like, I got to go to bed, so I'll post it the night before. Not the most ideal, especially when you can use Facebook Planner to schedule to Instagram. And I'll talk about why it's Instagram in a minute. But I see people also get the times wrong and post 2 hours late. You're not getting the bang for your buck.
Yeah, because we're just asking people that they are there at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard and engage for about an hour. At the end of the day, we do have lives. We have businesses to run. Things don't bake themselves. So we're not asking someone to sit behind their screen all day waiting for you to post. So it's on you to make sure that you set your alarm for 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time so that you're alive and well and there. So you're responding to comments, you're engaging and getting the most out of it.
Now, what I'll probably do is in the Facebook group, this is an Instagram collab, but in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Facebook group, I'll say cross-post your post here so we can see what it looks like. And that way people can kind of find you as well. Here's a bit again, and I'm saying it so much because it's that important. If you do not use this hashtag, nobody can find you.
Nobody will be able to find you.
Your audience will, but we won't.
Yeah, you'll be discouraged. You will never want to do a collab again.
But I'm going to tell you this. Your audience will love seeing your face, so you'll still win, but why not win all the way? With hashtag SCM Collab Baker. That's all one word. There's no spaces. That's the way hashtags work. So I don't care what other hashtags you add. SCM Collab Baker, ideally the first one.
Yeah. A lot of people will not remember that, and they'll do hashtag sugar cookie collab.
Or sugar cookie marketing.
That is not going to be searched. It's not going to be seen.
It may have worked in a past collab years ago. The reason why we put them off is because it no longer works that way. So it has to be this hashtag SCM Collab Baker.
Does collab have 2 L's?
Yes.
Yes. 1 B, 2
Okay, here's
L's.
the unfortunate part. You got a typo in there.
You can't find it either.
It becomes a whole different hashtag. Let me ask you this. Does it need to be in the copy? Is that top comment thing work anymore?
Yeah, it still works.
Let's put it in the copy. Let's just put it in the copy.
I'm going to give you the caption to use. You're going to edit it. It's going to be in there. That just makes it safe and sound, so you can do it.
Him there. That way we can find you. It's not. We don't make $1 for every time somebody uses a hashtag. Otherwise, I'd be using it everywhere. It's just for us to be able to find you, to engage with it. Okay. Tips again. Definitely like the post, but also comment on the post. So it's one thing to like, and if that's the bare minimum and that's all you had time to do, I'll accept it. But what I want you to do is like and comment. Now, the comment should look at the person. We want to give the baker something to reply to, something to bite into. So the baker's like, I have 21 kids. You'd be like, oh my goodness, what's your tallest one, right? What's the tallest kid that you have? How have you done that for 21 years?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you can ask a question. Corey's going to help guide people to give us some information that we can bite into.
At the end of the day, we want to think the baker in mind. So saying like, what's your favorite kind of gold that you use isn't necessarily going to be helpful for the baker. We want to think in terms of the baker, if a client is coming to their profile, what comment can I make that drives trust for this end user when they're reading it? So like, you said you grew up in DC. Have you ever been over to Alexandria? There was this great little restaurant there. Have you ever been? That would be able to create some.
Now, keep in mind, if you're ever like, what should I write? What would you say to someone if you met them in person? There you go. This is Meet the Baker. If you met them in person, what would be the next question you ask? I think you could default to the neat, hi, love this. Not as it's harder to bite into. Now, bakers, if somebody writes that on yours, you can also push them a little farther. They say, love this. Oh, I love it. Hey, I went to your page, and you could make them engage on your profile. So there's a little strategy there. The more effort you put into this, the more you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
This is not a way to get followers. I have in all caps. It's only for engagement. If your Instagram profile is set to private, you need to set it to public.
Here's the thing. You can use as many hashtags as you want. If it's a private account, no one can see it. The hashtag does not show up anywhere.
You can be the best photo, best caption, all the right hashtags, exactly at 10 a.m. on Friday, June 27th, Eastern Standard Time. But your account is set to private. You're echoing to the abyss.
Yeah, so you'll have people like being like, hey, your account's private. It happens every single time. Your account's private. You need to make it public. But the baker won't have checked. Yep. And the collab will have come and gone.
Posting
and they've gotten nothing.
Right. So something to keep in mind, if you have some stalkery exes, when you set an account to public, it accepts all the follow requests. So if you want to clear those out first by declining them and then set it to public,
interesting.
Then go back underground after. Never want to give the exes any form of gratitude. Last one. This is Instagram only. It's not on Facebook. I have so many bakers complain at me. Like, it can't be Facebook. I just don't feel like Facebook's it right now. I know we waited for them. They kind of moved to the page feed thing.
I can't even search in groups right now.
It's just not it.
Yeah.
So Instagram only. Well, I don't have Instagram. Then you don't have this collab on your docket.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I can't help you there. You can run an ad to your Facebook profile. You could still post. I would encourage, if you're doing this on Instagram, definitely post it to Facebook. You won't get that engagement on Facebook, but why not? It's a content. Yeah. It's going to do well either way.
I know. But collabs are a lot of fun. If you utilize them, you're going to have a great time. You're going to be begging us for more.
And I think the next ones are going to go back to Main Street Cookie Collab. And I
think we're going to do the Cookie the Logo again.
Cookie the Logo. So those will be our 3. So only 3 this year. If you want to taste test, this is the one to taste test. We started with the easiest first.
Yeah.
The Main Street Collab will actually probably make you money.
Sure. Because it's corporate, you're highlighting, what is it? It's Main Street. So there was a lady that she said, I think it was Lydia.
Lydia Eldred.
Yeah, Lydia said that she went down her Main Street in her small town and it was such a great cookified the logos of the businesses on the main street.
So she's actually holding the logo on a cookie, and behind it we actually see the business, and she features the business.
Yeah, so it's all about the business, and she's literally not saying, and then buy my cookies business.
What a great content bucket for a local audience that talks to corporate. Well, what happens is the business turned around and said, this is great. How many can we order?
Yeah. So
genius.
If it was for me, and this is just preemptively for that collab, there's next to my house is a cuppa coffee that opened.
Cuppy coffee?
Cuppy coffee. And it is taking the world by storm. If you're in Woodbridge, you'll love it.
The sandwiches. Did you go?
No, I've never been.
The sandwiches.
Did you eat? Have you gone?
No, I've been just drooling on the pictures. The sandwiches, they have like, my arugula vibes.
So what I would do was cookie their logo, and I would ask people, what sandwiches should I order from here? This actually just opened up, Dillingham Square.
And then Corey and I would go there. We would take a picture of her cookified logo of Cuppy Coffee in front of the sandwich we're about to eat.
Yeah. And what it would do is everyone in my audience who has been to the place is going to be so excited because they've been there. They know what they ordered. They love what they love.
People love what they love.
You're going to get so many comments about it because we're featuring a local spot.
I like it. And then the other one, the Cookier logo, is a great flex on your capabilities.
Yes. And to help you with corporate logo orders, to bring awareness to, if you've rebranded, you won't find a better time to unveil that.
It's a Meet the Baker, but more like Meet the Bakery.
Yes.
So I like that one. So that is a collab. Again, it's Friday, June 27th, 2025. If you're listening to this and that date has passed, you can go back in time. And if people haven't taken that hashtag out, you can go check her out, buddy.
Yeah, check her out.
What's wrong with your eyeball?
I don't know. I got a hair in there.
It's called Allergies, and his name is Munch.
Yeah, it's also 50 million degrees in this room.
It's Ruth Ann, buddy. She doesn't. It is. If we lived in the nation swamp, it is swamping. It has not stopped raining since we got back.
I know.
It is miserable. Moving on, we have the Midsummer membership sale next month. Now, how we're pricing this out, and I'll post about it. Don't worry, I'm going to spam you. We're going to do the Cookie College at its grandfathered pricing for 7 days only. At the 7th day, it disappears. The next sale you're looking at is the Render Blind.
So the Cookie College currently is $76. It will be $68. So that will only happen for 1 week. That's the last week of July into the first
2 days.
Two-ish August. Days of August.
Right.
Also, someone asked me this, and I was able to nail it down. Someone asked me, where can we still get the class kits from 2023 and 2024?
No, great. Hold on for the Midsummer membership sale, because here's the pricing of everything else. That membership, the Cookie College gets everything, goes down to $68. The other memberships, of which there are 4, the Cookie Class Kits, which gets the 2025 class kits, the Baker's Business Basics, which Corey hates to pronounce, which is 13 fundamental foundational classes to get started, the digital downloads, which is a digital print type download, whether it be 3D print or Eddie print or Canva print, that is monthly. And then the $2 transfer club, which I'm pummeling you guys with transfers. You guys have never seen so many transfers. All of those become half price.
I know.
Now they're all memberships. Cancel whenever. If you sign up for yearly, you get 2 months free. But again, it's half price.
Yes.
It's half price. So the Cookie College is the only one that doesn't go exactly half, but it goes to a price that you haven't seen in a very long time.
Which is fantastic.
Now, the 2023 and 2024 class kits are inaccessible in any place other than the Cookie College. That's what makes the Cookie College so valuable. You get everything. You get all those memberships, and you get the past class kits. If you're like, girls, I love you. I don't want a membership. All those past class kits will be $10.
That'd be $10 per class. So you could get the February We Go Together Light class for $10.
Now here's the beauty of those ones is they're not memberships. It's a one-time pay. I'll just pick and choose a la carte. So if you say, I only want to do 2 classes. Do they come with cookie cutters? No, we have a partnership with Sweet Pink Olive. Yes, you can still buy the cutters for the 2023 and 2024 classes. The most financially beneficial move here is to not buy them a la carte, but I understand if that's what your budget allows. It is the Cookie College at $68 for 7 days only.
Yeah, the Cookie College will be $68, but it also gets the basic business bakers.
You're close.
Belugies. It gets the basic business bakers.
The Cookie Class Kits.
The Cookie Class Kits. The digital downloads and the $2 transfer club, all for the $68.
Right. And it gets its own content that those other memberships don't. So you're going to see the digital downloads goes from 10 to 5. The Baker's Business Basics goes from 36 to whatever half of that is. I can't do it in my head. 23.
23.
No, we're close.
13. 1750.
The Cookie Class Kits goes half price. And then you're going to say the $2 transfer club is half price.
Dwala.
A Dwala. And those are memberships, so meaning they keep getting added to, but you cancel whenever. The benefit, though, the asterisk is I can never get you out of that grandfather pricing unless you choose to cancel.
Yeah, so as long as if you're in the Cookie College now at $76, you can drop down to $68, and you will be getting one over on the twins.
So I got a message, and someone's like, hey, I want to teach the 4th of July class. We just dropped it. It's super cute. And I was like, you can sign up today. You can get it. Obviously, 4th of July is before the midsummer membership sale on July 27th, I think I said.
Yeah.
I said, but if you like what you got and you want to stick around, that starts on Sunday, July 27th and runs to Saturday, August 2nd.
Nice.
I can say, but you can drop down. You can still, even if you signed up today, you can switch over. What if I signed up yearly today? You can still switch over.
Yeah.
And within those grandfather pricing, you can always switch to yearly or monthly.
Nice.
So it's a great thing. And it'll be the only sale we run until November. I had someone message me about the Vendi Blending. And I was like, "Whoa, what are you saying?"
Yeah, Heather was like,
I'm sorry. Like, well, I have PTSD. We don't talk about the Vendi Blending at least till the beginning of August. So that is, if you want to check that out, it's at cookiecollab.com. But I'll be teaching some Facebook Lives on what to expect and why you should sign up and what it looks like and how it works.
Yeah.
Leading up to July. I'll be out of town next week. That's why this next podcast will be pre-recorded. But then my butt will be here.
Yes. It
for
will.
the remainder of my life.
It will.
Corey's not letting me going.
Not letting her go in the town unless she takes me.
Get your butt on. Go anywhere you want to
go. That
one. Moving on. Somebody texted in. I have to find it. I actually read it from my phone.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Texting question.
I texted in how to name the podcast, and I will find out who you are, and I will give you the credit that is due. Because this was called the stupid questions, but it's not stupid anymore because
we have a new sponsor.
So let me just see if I can pull it up. The STL us about it segment.
That's hilarious.
Hilarious because
STL us about us section. I love that. So what this section is if you have any questions, whether it be about the podcast, whether about me and Heather, whether it be about business, something that you're going through in your business, you can always text in. The phone number is 571-556-5644. If you text in, we try to give you a little something. Do we still have that promotion going on with Cookie Design Labs?
That's why we're calling it the STL.
Nice.
Tell me about it. So Cookie Design Lab is an online cookie cutter design software. It's online, which means it's web-based app, which means it's not going to bog down your computer like Fusion 360. The person who came up with this idea was from Phoenix, Arizona. So Phoenix, great. So yeah, she had a bunch of ideas. Control text print, so from text to tray. She was saying from text to
I like
tray.
it.
And then the ask and STL you later. Slice me a text, STL you what the twins.
She did great. She did fantastic.
So that is, so you get a month in the Cookie Design Lab, which you have to have a Gmail account to use it. And that's what happens when you text in and say, hey, I'm the winner. I'll send you a form that you got to fill out. It is pretty neat. I really think it's a cute thing. I'll be teaching a Facebook Live on that coming up as well. What number?
What numbers do we got?
1, 2. Remember, this is over the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Shoot. 11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Oh, she said, no offense, but I'm still getting the stupid auto response. Thank you. I would not have remembered that.
Good catch, friend. Good catch.
Okay, so you win 443. What area code do you think that is? She actually had texted a question ahead of time.
Indiana.
Maryland. Baltimore.
Oh my goodness, girl. You're right above us.
In Virginia's hat. That's what I call Maryland. It offends Marylanders. But she actually did have a question. Thank you so much for telling me that. I would not have remembered to change that. If you text in with the 571-556-5644, there's an auto response text that tells you we got it.
Yeah.
Which has the stupid card tray information, and now it needs to be the other one. So, you guys, my eyes in here. My boots on the ground. Morning, ladies. Thank you for reading my question. That's the second time ever my business gets mentioned in your podcast, and I feel like I could start offering autographs now. Yes. Also texting about the Cookie Design Lab offer. Congratulations on the new sponsor, and have a wonderful time at the beach.
Oh, thank you so much.
So you have won my 443 friend. Email me, heather@sugarcookiemarketing.com with the rest of your phone number, and I'll hook you up with Cookie Design Lab, and you'll get that for a month. It's a really quick and easy way to make STL cookie cutters. If you guys are wondering which printer I'd recommend, the Bamboo A1 Mini.
Yeah.
For cutters.
For sure. So if the rest of the questions, Heather's going to read just a few more. If you are hearing your question being read, I'm so sorry you did not win this one. But that's okay, because we always encourage you to continue texting in any questions.
If you're anything like Deb, if you have the luck of Deb,
Yeah,
You
Deb,
win
who was
50.
like chosen 52 times last time. But you can text in by 571-556-5644. Heather, two more questions for us to go through.
Corey.
Yeah.
Did you pick a winner in the dye-free food coloring test? Please let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, that threw me for a bamboozle. I didn't know that True Prism and True Color were the same brand.
Would you pick them both?
I was like, oh yeah, let me see who wins there. And they're the same thing. It was just a different name. It was like one is like their whole one, and one is like their brand. I can see
it worked
what
on
they did.
you. What
Yeah,
they're trying
truly.
to do
But I was like, wow, these look very similar. Did I choose one because of this new dye ban that's rolling out in 2027? So down the road, there's a lot more businesses coming out with dye-free options. So I can't say I pick a winner because I'm still collecting the bottles. They're all coming out with something new.
I see a lot of people in the formulation.
Yeah, they're in the formulation stage. So I don't want to say like
Did you try one? You're like, that's pretty good?
I thought True Color was pretty good. I like the gels more than the powders.
Is that they sell both?
They do sell both.
You like the gels? I know because it's funner.
Well, it's just easier to mix in. I feel like I'm going through powders so fast, and it's because I'm doing this little thing, and it's just knocking whatever into the bowl.
As an experienced paprica sprinkler on the deviled eggs, you either get all paprika or no paprika.
So, yeah, I haven't decided yet, but there's so many more coming out. There's brands that people have actually mentioned to me that I didn't even know sold that.
Wow.
So I will be partaking.
Because like dye-free has been like this on the fringes for years.
Yeah.
And there's some bakers that do totally dye-free because they're like, healthy. I don't know. Okay, no, down. But now they're kind of coming to like, hey, we've been blazing this trail for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I'm excited to see how those roll out.
I like it. Heather and Corey, first off, you're both so amazing and have brought so much to all of us. That's very nice of you. Thank you, 920. Secondly, I've been a part of the Cookie College going on a year and it's truly changed my business in so many ways. The college is worth every penny, so if you're not a part of it, go check it out, especially because it'll be on sale.
Yeah.
Thank you, person who I did not pay to send this text. Lastly, my question. I did a very detailed, lots of color farmer's market baby set and only charged $35 per dozen. Cringe, I know, because I wanted the theme so badly, but now I'm kicking myself for it because it was so much work. But then when I charge or suggest a price that I really want or need, like $50 plus, I feel guilty, especially because I live in such a small town and I'm the only baker in this town, which I guess is good for me in some ways. I look at what others charge around me and it's in the $50 to $70 per dozen range. Ladies, I'm not making a profit. I'm not even breaking even here. How do I get rid of that guilty feeling and charge my worth before I have to close? I've been doing this for 4 years now. I'm an LLC and I am dying. Help, tell me straight up. I'm going to tell you straight up. You are more valuable to your small town being in business than you are out of business. Yeah. You are doing them a disservice if by every set you sell, you're closer to closing.
From a baker to a baker, if you are saying, I feel bad, you're charging on a feeling. That is not a math problem. What you need to do is take feelings out of it. You need to sit down. You haven't costed out your ingredients and your time.
Maybe she did. She even said she knows she's undercharging.
But it's your feeling.
Yeah, and what Corey's saying is right. When you know I can't charge less than this, or I'm literally paying you to buy from me, that removes a lot of the guilt. Like at the minimum, I have to charge this to cover at least my ingredients cost, and then I got to charge for my time. And then I got to get a little profit because if I don't charge profit, I can't expand, right?
You can't expand. You can't pay for the things that keep a business going. If you're always borrowing from yourself, an employee of your business, you're going to go under slowly but surely.
You're robbing from you.
Yeah, you're robbing from you.
You are both Peter and Paul.
It's so easy as a business owner to be like, well, I'll just pay for the website, yearly fee out of my pocket. At the end of the day, I am the business. No, your business is something and you are an employee of that business. When you can start thinking like that, if your boss came to you and was like, hey, Heather, I'm going to need you to spot me $200. I kind of overspent at the beach, but I need to make payroll. Heather's going to be like, absolutely not. So why would you do it to yourself?
Right. It is. I would tell you this. You feel like you're doing the right thing by undercharging. I'm going to tell you, you're doing the ethically wrong thing. You may think you're doing right by your customers, but you're doing wrong by your customers because you will close. If you could reframe what you feel is ethical as unethical, I think it'll help you make that jump. Mm-hmm. But here's the nuts and bolts. You can't work at a loss. So you will close. Giving it to you straight, just raise your prices. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's going to happen? Your past clients are going to be like, oh my goodness, you doubled. It was $35. Now it's $50 to $70. And you're going to be like, yes, I costed out my recipe. I have to raise the prices to meet the cost of ingredients. Those people aren't going to be happy because they had you at cheap. And now they know that they had a gold mine.
Yeah.
Gold mine. And then now you're going to raise your prices. Those past clients may fall off. You may feel guilted. I'll be like, you were changing my oil for $0. Now I got to pay for it. I'm going to take my oil change elsewhere. Where am I going to go? There's nowhere else to go.
Right.
They'll adjust. You have to raise your price.
What I see bakers that do have this feeling of guilt do is they do a slowly raise a price over a fast period of time. So instead of being like raising your prices once per year, over the next 6 months, you're going to have a price structure raising that's going to get you there faster. So you're not going to be like, I'm going from 35 to 55 and people are like, oh my goodness.
35, 45, 55?
Exactly. We're going to structure it up so we're going to go up every single month. And it's going to allow you to feel less guilty as you raise your prices. It's not going to be so jarring when you quote your clients the new pricing, but it's also going to keep you in business longer. You can't work for free.
I'm going to tell you, I want you to go to your small town. I want you to go sit in the parking lot of your Target or your Walmart, your grocery store, and I want you to look at every Ford F-150, the number one selling car sold every 3 seconds in America free. It's the number one selling vehicle in America is a Ford F-150. And if you add any sort of package to it, you're looking at an $80,000 truck. $10 is nothing. $10 doesn't even get the tank full. They're spending money on so much stuff. If they can't afford it, the audience will determine that for themselves. I always see people like, don't charge a rush fee because that's disrespectful. If I'm the guy who forgot and I want you to take that money because I need this.
Yeah.
If they want to, they will. If they don't, they won't.
Yes.
You also have no competition. So great. You can work off a scale. Let's say you don't want to go all the way to 70. Like you said, maybe that's a little bit higher. But let's say we shoot for 55. Maybe we're not making as wide as profit. We have to make a profit. But maybe we're doing an economy of scale thing. Since you're the only one, you'll always be booked out.
You're right. All right. We're going to save the next questions because these have to carry us over for the podcast we're filming right after.
I forgot.
So we're going to our sponsors. Without the sponsors and without you supporting the sponsors, this podcast would not be. So,
and I want to tell you guys this. I want to say this to you. I listen to a lot of podcasts, specifically on YouTube. And you know what? This sponsor segment isn't some pre-recorded long thing. You get us genuinely talking about them each week. It could be a lot more intrusive.
Sure. Yeah.
I listen to Dateline Murder. In the middle sentence, they'll just another ad will pop up for Saatva mattresses.
So our first one is the Backers Co. The Backers Co. is like a done-for-you in-your-home photography studio, but at scale. So we can't have these big white backdrops because we don't have the room, we don't have the space. But what I do have space for is a backdrop that's 23 inches by 23 inches, and that is what the Backers Co. does. You're like, but there's so many backers out there. There are not so many backers out there that are actually food safe, and we are working with food. When we take pictures of clients' orders, we need to make sure that we are making sure that we're safe on our end and we keep our clients safe.
Because unlike cookie cutters, where's that line? Well, you put it in the oven, it bakes it out. When you take the photograph, the cookies have, that's it. They're no going through another heat cycle.
Right. So if you're taking pictures of like your fish last night and your cookies this morning and you're doing it on a piece of poster board, there's going to be be cross-contamination.
Are we taking the fish out of the bowl?
I have no idea what you fishy people are doing.
Are you talking about cooked fish?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I was thinking of goldfish.
Oh, goldfish. Not sure
Flip
if
it,
you have
flop
a
it.
little cheese allergy there.
Next up, Eddie Printer, no discount, but pays for himself and then some. However, not cheap, $3,000. How does he pay for himself? Corporate early orders. You're going to see a lot of people when we do the Main Street Cookie Collab. They're going to incorporate Eddie in that. Inspiring if you want. But there's a refurb program, which I'm a huge fan of refurbished things. You can go to their website. You may have to call them to get on that list. It puts you at the top of the list. And as soon as they get a refurbished one in, you get it.
Nice. Next up is Royal Batch. Royal Batch, apparently there is a run on meringue powder. So if you are in search for a new meringue powder, the one that I use is Royal Batch. And I posted my ingredients in my recipe to the Baking with Sugar Cookie marketing group. So you can check it out there. It has vanilla extract already in it, white food coloring, and corn syrup to give it a soft bite. You can get a sample pack on her website, but you can use code TWINS and save 10% off. So if you're searching for a new meringue powder, that might be one you want to check out.
Did you give them the Backers Code discount code?
No, you cut me off there.
Sugar Cookie, 25%. Cookie Design Lab, sponsor of the Tell Me About It segment. Hilarious. Code TWINS, 15% off. They have a monthly membership. You have to have a Gmail account. It's web-based app. STL Designs, very simple to use.
Yeah, nice.
Next up, and I owe you an email, I know. The Baking Me
Crazy.
Baking Me Crazy,
There
right?
you go.
What is it?
Bake Me Crazy is an
She
online
did give me a discount code to keep talking.
retailer for if you're looking for sprinkles, for molds. She had the cake pop molds, which are super, like, people are super into. I think she had like food coloring, like Color Mill, things like that. If you were looking for an online supplier, and with the discount code is even better.
The discount code is hilarious.
What is it?
Favorite twin.
Favorite twin is 10%
10% off.
code.
Website is shopbakingmecrazy.com. She was a Vendy in the Vendy Blendy. She said she's back again. She's the one who gave me Vendy Blendy PTSD.
Nice.
So if you want, Karen, I have an email. I'll get it to you.
Either we'll get it to you this week. I'll
Back
hold
from
her
the beach.
feet to the fire. Feet to the fire. That wraps up our sponsors. Thank you, sponsors, for making this possible. Without you, me and Heather would be at lunch a little bit earlier today.
Yeah, just keep in mind there was 2 Facebook Lives taught last week. One on flip insurance, a little bit dry, but necessary. And then a more fun one taught on using Eddie, the edible printer, to get Google reviews.
Yeah.
So you can still watch those. I got to record them. All the past Facebook Lives, I got to hurry and finish up this. Oh, when does Google delete?
The 28th.
The 28th?
You got a week.
Yeah, me and the VA have been working on this.
Yeah.
There's 170 of these things. I've uploaded them to YouTube. If you're watching YouTube and you're watching the recording of this, hello, hi.
Yeah.
You may be saying you guys aren't very tan from the beach trip.
No, we hid from the beach. But if you wanted to listen to those Facebook Lives, they're no longer going to be accessible in the Facebook group because Facebook is doing away with it. So what Heather did with the VA is recorded them and uploaded them to YouTube. So the ones that were still available, granted, these have been going on since 2021. So there was many of people who have like deactivated their Facebook accounts. Probably 15 you didn't get.
We're going
something like that. Yeah, something like that. So the majority have been uploaded to YouTube. So if you want to snag any of those, you can find those there. They will no longer be pinned at the top of the events like they have been in the past because Facebook's deleted them.
End of an era.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Twinterest. Do we have one?
Twinterest. I have worn this back posture corrector
Okay,
thing.
I love it when a Twinterest survives the test of time.
Yeah, so I tested it to see if I could bake while wearing this posture corrector. No go. It was insanely annoying.
So that we bought these, I don't even think it was influenced. I've been thinking about it for a while.
Sure.
My grandmother is 86. She'll turn 86 in 2 days. And she talks about posture all the time because at that age, you can see the exacerbation of poor posture in your 20s multiplied by time. So we have a neighbor, he's basically bent over, and we talk about like that's an additional pain point, which is preventable with good posture. Good posture is frustrating.
But good posture is something me and Heather don't practice.
We do not. So I found this little device, which now has these little necklaces. If you're on YouTube, you can see these little necklaces. It dangles from your back, and the little device needs to be at a 90 degree. It needs to be vertical. If at any point it feels that it's not, it actually vibrates and tells you on its app. It's called the Upright.
The Upright. So what it does is you wear it. You can set the sensor to be super sensitive or a little bit graceful, but you calibrate it at the beginning of the day. So I calibrated it for me sitting in this chair. This is Upright.
Takes a million data points. It doesn't say. It says actually perfect posture is not healthy. It wants you to shoot between 75 to 95% perfect posture for the day.
Yeah, so when you wear it, the longer you wear it, the more data points it has for you. Yeah. But if you lean forward for 5 seconds, it'll time it.
If you slouch, but if you truly lean forward, it knows that you're actually doing.
So if you bend over, it's fine. If you lean forward, it's going to vibrate. Yeah. It's very annoying, but if you want better posture, it's going to be annoying until you figure out what it feels like to have better posture.
Past interest was that water bottle.
Yeah.
My mom bought one with us, and she doesn't even use the app. And I said, well, why would you just get another water bottle if you're not going to use the app? And she's like, the fact that it vibrates is so annoying. It reminds me to drink water. My Twinterest. Okay, I drive a lot, right? You can't text and drive. You can't take notes and drive. It's hard to, I'll think about it when I stop. I'll never remember what I was thinking about it. So I found this little thing, I found it last year. I never bought it. It is the size of a credit card. It's called Applaud.
P-L-A-U-D.
P-L-A-U-D AI, and this is called The Note. And it's listening to the podcast right now. I got it yesterday, and I had it listen in on the phone call. I had the Monday morning marketing meeting, and it records the whole thing, and then you tell it, generate meeting notes from the conversation.
It actually did a fantastic job.
AI, taking over the world. I don't know. You can listen to last week's podcast. But I was pretty impressed with this. It's listening to how we talk, and it even got some of the altercations we had, because I was like, well, you're not letting people into the group. And Corey's like, well, I don't. And I was like, hey, at the end of the meeting notes, it came up with a task list. It came up with a recap of the different segments. That's how we organize the Monday morning marketing meeting with the Miracles, it said, hey, I actually want to recommend a few things to you guys based on how you spoke to
It wasn't altercations, but it got Heather's like, you're not letting people in. I said, well, it was vacation last week. I'll let them in.
And then I said, like, you know, how are we promoting the Midsummer membership sale? And Corey's like, I don't know, we'll talk about it. I was like, hey, I actually don't think you guys actually had a determination of how you're planning to promote
Yeah, it actually got most all of the meeting topics and put them in it heard the words correctly.
And I think because it's not a perfect, you can try to transcribe, but because a summary is not a perfect transcription, my mumbling, it didn't need it.
I think, it just cut it out.
Yeah.
Because Heather is a mumbler. It's a master of mumbling.
It did say sourdough sailors. Like sailing.
That was a hard one.
We do sourdough sailors.
Sourdough sailors.
Yeah, so I wonder if I have it recording. I told it, this is a podcast. I want to see how you do the podcast summary.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I don't know, it's pretty neat. It's $100.
But then $100? $100?
And that doesn't include if you want to upgrade the plan for some more additional
Is there like a
features.
subscription fee to it?
Yeah, when I turned it on, I was like, would you like to subscribe? But otherwise, the base plan is $100, no fee.
Oh,
for the app.
Interesting.
So what I did was free outside of the $100 for this guy. But you can also record conversations and transcribe them on your phone. It has that magnetic thing.
Yeah, in the Cookie College, we actually have, what is it? What do you call it? The buddies?
Accountability buddies?
The accountability buddies. So if you were to make a phone call, Study buddies. If you were to have a phone call with your study buddy in the college and you're like, instead of just spitballing, you could have this record your guys' goals for the month.
And then come up with meeting notes.
Yeah, and come up with meeting notes. And then you could share it with your study buddy.
Yeah, the real big thing, the accountant that we have was like, if you guys bill a lunch to your company, you need to have meeting notes. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, we had never made a meeting note before in our lives. Granted, we always talk about marketing, I will say.
That's all we talk about.
Yeah.
And before you guys say consenting third-party recording, say, yes, I don't know. If you're going to record somebody, tell them you're recording. Virginia, you have to tell them, otherwise can't use it in court of law.
Yeah.
That is this podcast. We will see you next week on a pre-recorded podcast that happened today.
And then we will be locked and loaded for the rest of the year.
Locked in,
loaded. Boy.
Bye.